Well, good evening and welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. So, hi to you guys that are on live. And if you're watching this as a video, well, welcome. And tonight we're going to talk about the new moon that's coming this Sunday. And the new moon, if you can understand the energies right at the new moon, that's kind of the template that the entire lunar cycle builds on. So it's very important to understand that. And we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about 5 key elements of this coming new moon for our community, for the world at large. We're going to talk about 5 practices that you can do that's aligned energetically with this lunar cycle. And at the end, I've got some angel cards, so we'll do a message from Spirit or from the angels. So hi everybody, hi Lisa, Sarah, Bobby, Nicola, Susan, Sharon, and whoever that I missed. Welcome, welcome. So I always like to give the live people a minute or two to get their notifications and get on. So let me just let you guys know that tomorrow, which is Wednesday, last I checked, at 7 o'clock, we're going to do some free mediumship readings here on the channel. So we do that 8 times a year, aligning with the different Sabbats on the wheel of the year. So this is for the fall equinox. So this gives people that are struggling financially a shot at getting a message also. So I like to do that. It's my way. Excuse me. Hopefully I'm not foaming at the mouth. This is my way of giving back to you guys and giving back to the community also. So we're doing that Wednesday. Let me see what's going on Thursday. At 8 o'clock, we're going to do some channeling for the fall equinox. So it actually is on Thursday. That's the 22nd. We're going to work with the master teachers. Then fast forward to Sunday, we have tarot time at 11. We have Doreen of the Children's School of Yoga doing some yoga with us at 5. And then on Zoom, and I'll provide some links for that as we get closer. I'm going to do some new moon channeling on Sunday, but that it'll be free, but it's going to be on Zoom. And then we'll upload it onto YouTube later on. So are we ready? Are we set? Let's dive right on in. This new moon, it's at 2 degrees Libra. It's happening on Sunday, the 25th of September at 5:55, 5:55, unless you see 5:56. I've seen both times, but I'll go with 5:55. That's here at an Eastern Daylight Time. We're not Standard Time yet. But no matter where you are in the world, it's still going to be 5-5. There's still going to be that numerology. And I'll touch on that a little bit because that helps support healing. That 555, that angel number, helps support healing. It helps build community. It's the numbers of change and freedom and family and community. So the degrees are important. As Sharita Starr has taught me well, to pay attention to that and the Chaldean numerology and symbology around the numbers. Once I started to add that, the astrology made a whole lot more sense to me. So 2 degrees is lunar based. Libra is Venus ruled. So Venus in astrology, Venus and the moon, because the number 2 is lunar based, are the primary players. So one of the things, I have notes, so that's why I keep looking down, by the way. So Libra is also about balance. That's a big part of this energy. It's really attaining or reattaining balance or finding balance, working in harmony with the emotion, working with the emotions. Imagine that, the moon and Venus, when you put that together, it's very emotional energy. What we feel is I'd say the lion's share of our energetic, what we put out into the world and what we create and what we receive as a result. But because of that too, it's lunar based. This month, especially pay attention to the void of course moons. That happens as the moon passes its last major aspect of a sign. The moon's said to lose its identity somewhat for a while until it enters its next sign. It's a little like Mercury retrograde. When the moon's void, of course, we want to go more inward. We don't want to put a lot of energy out. This is kind of more the time to exhale rather than inhale, or more the time to step back rather than move forward. And it's going to be extra powerful because of that number 2 numerology. So you can find void of course moons on the internet if you want to stick with that. And then during those times, if you can, do more meditation, do more quiet work, try not to sign things or move forward. So pay attention to the void of course. Number two is also very reflective. It's very psychic energy. So a lot of reflectivity. So there's going to be a lot of that mirroring and understanding how the world, the universe, other people, everything, it's all about relationship. Number two is about relationship. And relationship is the mirroring. So if you take the sum of all your relationships, you have an exact idea of what you're putting out into the world. Relationships with your lover or spouse, relationship with your parents, relationship with your pets, relationship with your coworkers, relationship with your technology. It's all relationship and it's all reflective. So what we called energetically gets reflected back to us by the universe, by the world. And that's how we can know what our energy is and what we're putting out there. Now, if we're having struggles and challenges, it doesn't make you a bad person. So don't go that way with it. It just shows that you may be processing some negative energies. It may be your programming, your conditioning, it may be suppressed traumas, it may be things in other lifetimes. So don't take the negative reflections of the universe as something bad or negative, or that you're a bad person. In fact, don't feel guilt or shame about anything. That's a diminishing emotion. We don't want that. Yeah, we all make mistakes, but be present and be in your power in the moment. Be in your joy, be in your love, be in your highest emotions right now, and do that every moment. And gradually you're going to shift your emotional baseline to a higher frequency. So there's a lot of lessons in that with the number two. So let me go here. Cycle is all right. We talked about that. We talked about that. Oh, okay. So there's a few aspects. I'm just going to touch on them briefly because I don't want to be here all night, and neither do you guys. But one of the biggest aspects that's been kind of around since 2021 on and off is Saturn and Uranus square. I believe Saturn is where Saturn in Aquarius, and Uranus is in the Taurus, the other Venus ruled sign. Lots of clashes with things like the systems, things like what's going on in the world. Uranus is very explosive, but it's also about our ideals, where Saturn is about the structure. So we can expect, as the peak of this round of the square is actually going to be in early-ish October, but it's only a couple of degrees off on the new moon. So the square is very much in effect. It will be in this entire lunar cycle. This can lead to things like earthquakes or weather stuff. So it affects the earth. It's also, Uranus is very technology. So it can affect things like the internet, stuff like that. Lots going on with that aspect. It has the power to change the structures of our society permanently, and that's not a bad thing, although the process can be a little bit painful and challenging. So other fun aspects, let's see what the moon's doing, because the moon is going to be opposing Jupiter. It's conjunct the sun because it's a new moon. New moons are always sun moon conjunction, so that conjunction is going to oppose Jupiter, so that's going to add a good sense of growth and expansion, and a lot of challenges with the status quo in your life and in life in general. Now, Venus and Pluto will trine, so that supports evolution and growth, and it can affect money and power struggles in your life. So that's actually a favorable. So Pluto's going to be really being favorable, and that's a lot of energy. That's good to know. Venus is going to be opposing Neptune. It's not, I don't think it's exact, but it's close enough. A lot of illusions get dispelled. Neptune is the illusion, so a lot's going to get dispelled. Remember, Venus, very powerful because it's a Libra Venus guided lunar cycle. Also, Mercury and Venus are going to conjunct. So anyway, that's just a little rundown. Moving to page 2 now. So the first thing to know about this new moon is it's the time of new beginnings. All new moons are times of new beginnings. And it's also Rosh Hashanah, so that's the Jewish New Year also. So a lot of focus on new beginnings. This, however, given all the aspects and everything, there's more of of a leaning towards like planning your new beginnings or mapping things out, then it's not as action oriented as it could be. I'll put it that way. But it's still the new moon. It's still a new cycle. What do you want to create in this new cycle? What do you want to create in your life? What do you want to release or let go? It's also the equinox, the balance. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. Shifting or leaning towards the dark now. Once we're 3 days into, past the equinox, that then we're starting to lean into the dark. The dark is the hidden, the unknown. So it's good time for doing inner work, and that just happens to be point number 2, just by coincidence. Reflection and inner work. Again, the moon's very reflective. Um, there's an increase of intuition. The moon is the moon is about intuition. The moon and Venus, due to the numerology and the astrology, are the major players. So this is a time to really start to dive deeper into inner work. Again, we're tipping into the dark. The dark is the hidden, the unknown, the subconscious. This is, well, the bear hibernate a little bit later on, but the fall is the season of the bear. The bear looks within and digests the lessons of the year past when it goes into its cave of hibernation, its cave of introspection. And then next spring emerges having learned the lessons and ready for new lessons and new growth. So this is a really good time to dive into your reflective, your meditation, double down on meditation, shadow work, all that kind of stuff is very very aligned with the energies of this lunar cycle, for the reasons I mentioned. So number 3 is shocking revelations. This has been a theme. Things kind of are getting more shocking and dicey as we go along. Um, there's going to be a real, it's almost like, this, not duality, but this clash between like local and global. And think locally and act globally is a slogan that's been around a while. I think it's going to have even more meaning during this lunar cycle that we're in right now. This is really, the revelations can be on a personal level. Um, Part of this is fostered by both the Neptune and Venus opposition, as well as the Uranus-Saturn square. So there's astrology as well as what my guides are saying. But as well as that, global truths start to rise to the surface. And we may start to really gain some knowledge and insight, things that have been suppressed by the media, by the news, by the governments, by the powers that be, in favor of profit and in favor of maintaining the power structure. But it just can't survive, not just this lunar cycle, but the way things have been building up over the last several years and will continue to do so. The structure just cannot endure. It cannot survive. It's outdated. It never really worked to begin with, but now it's outdated. People are awakening. We're ascending. We're growing as a species. So, shocking revelations. We'll see what happened. That could be everything from insights into our former president to child trafficking to insights into mishandling of the coronavirus, and probably things that I'm not even mentioning. So that's a big thing. So number four thing that we need to know about this particular new moon, I was going to say full moon. The full moon is going to be really interesting also, by the way, but we'll save that for the full moon. Seek the balance, stay in the heart. Libra is the scales, right? We seek the balance in Libra time. I just need to peek in my notes. All right. I didn't, nothing too earth shattering in my notes. I'll just speak from the heart now. So you're seeking the balance within yourself, seeking that in your meditation, in your life, examining what's out of balance in your life and working towards correcting that. And at the same time, these are the energies that are affecting the collective. So we may see things, again, that are out of balance in society coming to the surface, or people being more aware of it. So find inner balance, find inner peace, find inner truth. And working with the sign Libra, again, it's balance, it's the scales, it's Also, works with the mind and the intellect, and works with the planet Venus. So that's number 4. Number 5, the great purge. We are winning. That's the fifth thing that we need to know. When I say we are winning, yeah, we are in a spiritual war. There is negative forces, or forces that want to diminish our growth in spirituality, versus the positive or expansive forces. It's all set up that way for our growth. Don't be afraid of so-called evil. Evil actually comes from Greek, that loosely translates to in error or in mistake. When there's evil, that means there's separation from spirit or source. When you're connected with source, you just can't be evil. You can't do that, because you are connected. You feel. When you feel, when you do something wrong to the other person, it's like doing it to yourself. You feel that. So this is all part of it. It's really, expanding and opening through the heart. So we're in the great purge. We're going to see more signs of light, maybe little flickers here and there. I've been seeing that already. More signs of hope, even if things seem like they're getting worse. Again, we are faced with food shortages. We are faced with production shortages, gas shortages. God, what was the latest? Forgot what it was, but there's something else that I saw. But we're seeing signs of hope. So amidst the upticks of challenges, um, we see those signs. So I just, oh, okay, that was the last point. So not to be surprised if there's a continual purging that's going on. We talked about this for a while, that old friends fall away that are no longer aligned, that are no longer in balance with your thinking, with your being. Yeah, this is again the time to let it all go, and those people that don't serve your highest good at this time, that are countering your growth or your life or whatever way, you may need to make the decision to let them go. But you know what? New friends that are more aligned with your growth and the direction you're going in your spirituality will take their place. It's not a big deal. It's all part of ascension. It's all part of growth. So I just wrote a few side notes. Weather, yeah. Um, what did we talk about in the beginning of the month of my psychic forecast? Well, so far one didn't come true. That was the tropical system, sitting off of the southeast coast. I mean, that may still happen, but what I predicted about Alaska, oh my God, they got their worst storm in like 20 years in Alaska. So that one definitely panned out. But anyway, um, geological stuff, earthquakes, all that stuff. With Uranus really coming to that square with Saturn, that's going to help to enhance that energetically. Um, and all right, so let me see what else. Exercises for the month. Um, so, firstly, first exercise that I wrote down is to work with water, work with the element water. This is lunar based, right? It's the new moon, but it's also it's a lunar base. The moon is very water energy. So meditate by water, go by water, do cleansing, like cleansing baths, stuff like that. Charge your water. Most of you, I think, know about Dr. Emoto's experiments, but for those that don't, they actually were able to pressurize and bring water to a very specific temperature. And at that temperature, it formed crystals. And the crystals were determined upon the emotional energy that was beamed into the water. So in other words, like happy emotions and joyful emotions and love had very symmetrical and very nice shapes, and things like anger and fear had very jagged crystals. So it just shows that vibration, emotional frequency does affect physical matter. It does so more on the micro, or you could say even the quantum level, but what happens on that level filters into the macro level over time. That's how the universe is constructed. So every thought, every emotion, every action changes the subatomic reality, the quantum reality, and that in time changes your macro reality. That's scientifically, it's debated, but I feel that there's plenty of evidence to support, and more is coming out. And plus spirit, from a spiritual perspective, I already know this. What we feel and think, and what we hold in our minds and our heart, we create in our reality. So that's work with the water. Number 2 is balance exercises. Big surprise there, right? Any exercise that's balancing. Yoga is really great. Do you guys know the tree pose or any balance exercises? Do those. Those are very succinct and powerful exercises for this time. Alternate breathing, that's also yoga. Exhale left, inhale, exhale right. Inhale, balancing the right and left hemisphere of the brain. Heart-brain coherence, how often do we talk about that here? I have a course that I made that's a full-length course. It's over an hour long on how to do heart-brain coherence, how to apply that in your life. That'll probably be available towards January, honestly, the way things are going, but we have that. So anything that's balancing energies, again, we're at the equinox, we're in the sign Libra, all about the balance. Balance raises our vibration and frequency. So that's number 3. Number 4 is anything around intuition development. It's a very psychic time. We're going into the dark season. The veils between the worlds are getting thinner. So if you're into things like channeling, mediumship, automatic writing, all of that stuff, this is the time to work on that, to do exercises, to enhance your intuitive abilities and enhance your abilities to connect with spirit. It starts by being present and letting your thoughts go. That's the first step. So you already are a medium. You already are a channel. You already are psychic. But probably, if you're like most people, there's too much monkey chatter up here for you to even know that. It gets in the way. So we have to learn how to become present, how to quiet our mind. And then we start to feel the energies. We start to feel the flows. We start to connect with the power. We start to feel and receive the subtle voice of spirit. So that's number 4. Number 5 is to do the shadow work. Shadow work is an integrated process. It's not throwing your shadows or casting shadows out. It's accepting and embracing them as part of your power, part of your experience, part of your growth. I have videos on all this. In fact, when this becomes a video, I'll at the pinned comment we'll post 5 shadow work exercises that you can do. We'll post a really powerful heart-brain coherence video that you can do also. So that's basically that. Let me just see what else I have. Shadows, yeah, Moon is in charge. And did I talk about find the void, point 3, or did I go from 2 to right to 4? I don't remember talking about point 3, find the void, that place of darkness or non-existence within the existence. That's part of the balance also. So that was supposed to be 3, but it got switched to 5. One brilliant way of doing this, and according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, we go in and out. Well, he calls it the quantum field, but we go in and out of the quantum field 7 to 8 times per second. So we're really not physically here. We are in multiple universes, multiple dimensions all the time, and we rapidly shift so much that we don't know it. So our attention is in this physical world, but we are multidimensional and according to my belief and according to teachers that I follow. So one way to do this is get very present and then try within the sounds, try to find the silence, like like sound is waves, right? So find those troughs in the waves, those points of silence. So talking like if I was to go but slow it down like thousands of times, it would sound more like. Find those spaces of silence. Do that with the light. Do that with the energy fields. That's how to connect with the void. It's taking presence to an even higher level. So now I got all 5 points done. So I wanted to just ask spirit and pull an angel card or two. So I'm sorry that I'm missing your comments, guys. I see you're having an amazing conversation without me right now. For people that jumped on a little later, this will become a video, so you can go back and check out all the good stuff that we've been talking about the last half hour or so, or 25 minutes, I guess. All right, so I have to clear my mind. Call on the angels and please guide me to the right card for this group, for this new moon at this time. And this is what I pulled. This is the angel therapy card from Doreen Virtue. I need to turn it around to read it, but I'll let you guys see it for. Oh, everything's opposite on StreamYard. Okay. What is this? Singing and dancing. Oh, I love it. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. That's a great message. So, Spirit is telling us do a little bit of dancing, a little bit of movement. And when we do that, we connect with the flow. I once asked years and years ago when I started to learn how to channel, I asked the angels why or spirit, why is music so important? Because music is part of virtually every culture, if not literally part of every culture that walked this planet. And then the response I got is, you don't know? And in my mind I'm saying, no, that's why I'm asking. And then I heard that because music comes from the highest levels or the higher levels of the angelic realm was the answer that I got. But timing, it's about movement, it's about flow. The universe is about rhythm, it's about timing, it's about movement and flow. Enough said. So that's so Spirit is telling us to do more of that. I dance and sing and I do stuff like that every day myself, and that really helps me. It helps makes us healthier. Also, when we dance and we're in the flow. What's the Loggins and Messina line? For when you keep on dancing, you'll never grow old. I really believe that that's true. By the way, I'm turning 64 on Saturday. So will you still need me and will you still feed me when I'm 64? We'll find out in 5 days. I wanted to also pull another card to add to that one. Let me move this deck. I have a really little table here that I'm working on. Um, all right. Here we go. Drum roll. I love drumming too, by the way. So you can add that as well. Drumming and singing and doing those things together taught me how to disassociate the conscious mind, and by doing that, I was able to my mediumship improved by being able to do that. So playing the piano, doing that's part of balancing too. Do some one thing with your left hand, like right with your left hand, eat with your right, or things like that. Anything that breaks down the coordination, that conscious control over the body helps us to ascend or helps us to expand into higher frequencies and higher consciousness. Okay, clearing mind. Okay, spirit, angels, lead me to the right card for this month, for this moon. And what I got is Athena. It is safe. Here, let me show you guys first. I'm manners, right? All right, so that's Athena. This is messages from the angels, also a Doreen Virtue deck. Um, it is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way, but that benefits others as well as yourself. And I just did a post like an hour before about when you say yes to others, when you don't want to say yes to them, what you're doing is you're saying no to yourself. So we really have to learn to be powerful in a loving way. And all the stuff we were talking about, heart brain coherence, finding the right balance, doing the shadow work. Because I know I was a people pleaser, a yes man. Oh my goodness. I didn't matter as long as I could, please or help somebody else out until I got really ill or whatever. But anyway, the point being is that I had to change that for my own health and well-being. And it's not selfish to say no to people. In fact, it's selfish to say yes when you really mean no, because you're being inauthentic, and that's not a good energy for anybody. So be powerful. Yeah. And what I was going to say I kind of glossed over this point is that it's really the shadow aspects that make us be yes people, or sacrifice our own well-being to say yes to somebody else. Some people are very empathic, so we don't like to feel the disapproval or the negative energy, so sometimes it's easier just to say yes than to feel that energy. That was one of my main problems. But oversensitivity is a shadow aspect, and there's other reasons, but once you clear the shadows, then you're more in your power and you're more compassionate. So anyhow, that's what I have for you today. So hopefully that's helpful. And again, for those that jumped on new, tomorrow night we're doing mediumship readings, free, of course. I just get the messages, I put them out there. I do this for about an hour, and that's tomorrow at 7. So come back. And Thursday at 8, we're going to do some channeling with the master teachers for the fall equinox. That starts at I forgot what time, but it starts on the 22nd. Late-ish in the day is the autumnal equinox, and so we'll do some channeling, some energy transmissions, and some energetic upgrades, DNA activations, and stuff like that, right here on the channel. Then Sunday, after tarot time at 11, we have Doreen at 5 p.m. doing her yoga class. And then at 7 p.m. on Zoom for free, I'm going to do new moon channeling because Sunday's the new moon. All right, that's what I got for you. Thank you, everybody. If you're liking this, feel free to hit that like button and let's get this out to more people, and subscribe and all that YouTube jazz. And I thank you for being here. I love you, and we'll see you next time.